listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. We're crazy for doing this show. The use of programming techniques is so commonplace that for us to say programming is toxic and bad for you is an indication that maybe, well, I'm going to say Jason's lost his mind. So many quality experts and scientists advocate for these programming methods. They are considered, meaning the methods are considered the standard. How can we as intuitives question the validity of these accepted methods? Is there a benefit that could be life-changing for you? Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah.
All right. We are married intuitives with over 25 years experience who created the Ecosystem Approach. This is a groundbreaking way to see yourself in this age of Aquarius. We help you unleash healing and potential that is unknown today and is totally unique to you personally. This is not your typical type of energy work. We help you with life-changing internal discovery that is powerful, rational, and useful for everyday life. Are we crazy for doing this show, Jason?
Well, yes, because the idea that of programming is toxic or bad for you is not accepted. The reason it's not accepted is because the toxicity affects your essence, or what some people call soul.
Yes.
And soul is invisible. Soul is invisible to science. It's an intangible. It's a subtle energy.
Mm.
How do you access subtle energies? Via intuition. And because of programming, it's like a circular argument. Because of programming, it's trained, it's dumbed down our intuition.
Yeah.
So we go outside of ourselves for the solution. We never go inside and say, okay, what's the best thing for me here?
Correct.
The soul or essence has not been studied because they can't measure it. They can't see it. You can't see it in a telescope. Can't see it in a microscope. You know, you
can't even see it in your body.
You know,
if you, meaning not an X-ray or an MRI or anything like that.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
But there's a lot of people that know it's there. So
yes. And we happen to be two of them.
Yes.
That know that. That is correct. So, Jason, let's ask the question. It's really kind of crazy to talk negativity and I'm having a hard time with that word.
Negatively.
Thank you. About programming.
It's the accepted standard to program yourself like others, like machines. It makes sense when you're programmed to think this way.
Yes.
So when you say, how do I do something? Someone gives you a recipe. Someone tells you to think this way or feel this,
Correct.
or we've been hearing that all of our lives. It just seems normal. Why, right? Why not?
Right.
Even subtle energy experts use programming techniques to help their clients. That's always flabbergasted me. But the reason is that most self-help, most energy people, subtle energy experts, quote unquote, really can't see. They can't perceive subtle energy.
Right.
They're just going by what they read someplace or some experiences that they had.
Correct.
But they don't see the whole picture.
Correct.
And frankly, it's all there.
Right.
It's not hidden. This idea of how we work naturally is not hidden. It's not in some ancient text. It's right there.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. But let's ask a really important question. Not that the other ones weren't, but let's ask this one. Jason, explain what programming is, please.
Okay. And programming is when you or someone else tells you what to think,
okay,
what to feel, how to act. Programming uses words like motivate. The truth is, you never need to motivate yourself if you know who you are and your purpose. You already are intrinsically motivated.
Correct.
Statements of being like be happy, be joyful, be grateful, be loving, be sorry. All these be statements. One of the big ones around lately has been be grateful.
Yes.
The
quite a
truth
while.
is, if you're natural and who you are, gratitude comes naturally. It's natural
I
to you.
agree.
And if you have to micromanage it, that means that there's some negative energy that's blocking that expression of gratitude.
Yes. So, okay. So,
Oh, there's one other part.
okay.
Instead of working with the way humans are designed naturally, programming manipulates, reconstructs, or micromanages. So instead of having a natural process, they say, well, don't do it that way, do it this way. Don't do it that way, do it this way. And one of the best analogies about the toxic effects of programming is, and we've been talking about this lately, is farming.
Oh, yeah.
The way we farm and the way we grow food today depletes the soil, is toxic because of the chemical fertilizers, and pretty soon the earth is just used up. Whereas regenerative farming, which is a new term, permaculture,
Correct.
that uses nature, that naturally restores itself over and over and over again.
Right.
It's never gets washed out.
Well, for those of you who've been listening, I do a vegetable garden every year, and but I keep everything in containers because I have gophers that are everywhere and they eat everything. They don't care. Thank you very much for the meal, Mom, that kind of thing. But the point that I'm getting at is I always rotate the crops that I put in each one of the containers. Well, one of the things that I've seen in the past is that if I put the same things like tomatoes in the same container every year, I hardly even have any volunteer tomato plants that come up. But if I put in other things, it starts to regenerate the soil because each plant uses its own food, so to speak, from the earth.
The point here is that when you're natural,
that's the point.
Nature restores itself over and over again.
That's right.
Imagine and you see this with regenerative farming. They show you barren land, and then they show this green oasis right next to it.
It's unreal.
It's unreal.
And by the way, fascinating.
As a human being, if you're feeling like you're barren land
or used up,
exhausted, don't have any get up and go, have health problems, relationships problems, money problems.
That's right.
You're not acting in a way that's probably natural to you.
Exactly.
And, I think, we just started this conversation before we got on the air, but we see this so clearly because we take care of my mom. She's 94. She has dementia. Dementia kind of peels back all the defenses, all the pretenses.
There you go. That's the word
that we're programmed to have about life. This is who I am. Instead of saying this is who I am authentically,
right?
We're programmed to put on a good face and say, okay, this is how you have to see me. And when those pretenses are stripped away with dementia,
correct.
We're seeing the negative energy of the toxicity of programming.
Correct.
That it's right in our face. It's it's ugly. It's not attractive. It's, if people could see how dysfunctional they're the dysfunctional things they're doing to themselves by programming themselves.
And sometimes it takes 20 years to even start to see the the programming and what it's doing to you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So, Jason, let's talk about the reason. Did we talk about the toxic part? Yes, we did.
Yeah.
The reason that programming seems to work.
Your essence is already blocked, covered up, and rendered dysfunctional by a significant accumulation of negative or dark energy.
Right.
It's not possible just to decide all of a sudden to use essence and then have all the benefits of using essence. You have to remove the negative energy first and heal your essence and reconnect with that natural process.
And in that healing, when you start removing negative energy, in that healing, you start to see parts of you. And I know
Yes.
we're going to talk about it, but I just want to say, you don't just take things away and then everything happens. You do it as a gradual process, and it's
restorative.
Oh,
but just like changing barren land to an oasis, it takes years, and you have to be patient with nature.
And I want to add, programming is not sustainable, and we're seeing it right in front of us with Jason's mom.
Yes.
So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
We feel it's crazy to question the validity of programming methods commonly used today. Programming treats human beings like machines and is toxic and unnatural. However, if humans were not collectively covered in negative energy, people would have a natural aversion and resistance to being programmed. It's not natural. Programming to toxicity because it is toxic because it seeks to replace the natural knowing and abilities to determine what is best and appropriate for each individual.
Correct.
With information that has been collected via statistics and generic best practices, formulas, and recipes. Those don't work they may work for that person, but they may not work for you.
Correct.
The job of your essence or soul is to always know what's best for you uniquely. Be your mentor, your advisor, your decision maker. That has no equal. The reason programming seems to work so well is essence is already dysfunctional because it's covered in negative energy.
All right. In the next segment, we're going to talk about the dilemma of using the ecosystem approach in a programmed world. Is it black and white? How do you transition from how do you transition from the programming world to using the ecosystem approach as part of your life? This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. I think I am anyway. In this segment, we're going to talk about the dilemma of using the ecosystem approach in a programmed world. Is it black and white? How do you transition from the programming world to using the ecosystem approach as part of your life? Jason, why is using the ecosystem approach possibly a dilemma?
Because experts and scientists all advocate for programming methods. One of the things with a programming method, if you have a recipe or a technique, correct, or if you do this, and this,
right,
they can track the responses. They can measure then how effective it is.
True.
Now, if it's almost never, I've never heard it be 100%. So what happens is that there's a portion of the people that can do it, and there's a portion of people that do it really well, but there's a bigger portion that do it okay, right, and then another portion that don't do it at all. I learned about this in the military. Huh? They program you to the max.
Yeah, to the max.
They tell you how to think. They tell you how to walk. They tell you how to carry yourself. They tell you how in the morning what you have to do, including make your bed. I've seen, there was a guy that I was friends with in the military, and I saw that he literally was thrown away. He's a really smart guy, but he was a little ADHD, and he was very smart, but he couldn't make his bed. And
I've actually known people.
There are so many people who have been thrown away because they can't be programmed. And frankly, knowing what we know now, that's natural. Yeah. It's not unnatural not to be programmed. It's natural not to be programmed.
Yes.
So, it's, I want to just say another thing too. Most of us know, science wants to tell us that the knowing is outside of ourselves. Science has the knowing. It's not within you. It's science knows it. So if you're a scientist, you learn that you have to get your data and you have to validate it and do it over and over and over again in the
To-
tangible world to prove.
to prove it.
Now, there are a few people who may be listening to the show right now who just know that your essence or soul exists. And frankly, we do this show for you guys. We do this show because you can't just go to a college or a university and say, "I know my soul exists," and expect to get A's or get that PhD or whatever it is.
Sure.
But there are people out there that just know,
Yes.
and that's natural.
Mm-hmm.
Your essence doesn't try to hide.
No.
You know that you have it. Maybe you might not know how to best work it or use it, but you just know that it's there.
Well, and I'm going to jump in and say one of the things that the ecosystem approach has done for me is it has I've removed the blocks, the blocks that have always kept me stuck, believing I wasn't very bright or I was incapable of surviving without having someone to depend on or that sort of thing. And what I've discovered is that that's not what the way I am at all. And the other thing is I don't have to depend on you, but I want to share my life with you.
Well, and what's fun about this is that we're in our 70s.
Yes.
And we can't wait for another 10 years because we keep getting more and more information
all the time.
Our essence is becoming stronger and stronger, and it's a source of insight and knowing that is really tangible to us.
Very much.
And that's why people come to us, because they want to benefit from that experience. And our objective is not to be the guru, but to help you be your own guru.
Exactly. So that brings me to the next question, because I'm really hoping people out there are thinking about really getting
more natural.
Being more natural and giving the ecosystem let's give this one a try if you haven't already done that. So the question I have is, should they just stop all programming?
Frankly, it's everywhere. To learn new skills, to be educated,
yes,
to grow and develop.
Yes.
Should I stop all programming methods? Well, there's a transition or a bridge to the ecosystem approach.
Mm-hmm.
And that bridge is unique to you. It's not something that I can give you a formula for, because of course that would be what? Programming, each person is different.
Yeah.
But that bridge is always unique to you. My favorite example of how to do this is getting up in the morning.
Okay.
Let's say your boss has threatened you to say, if you're late for work one more time, you're going to get fired.
Okay.
I would suggest that a person use a programming method to make sure that they get up every night.
It's called an alarm clock.
Alarm clock, or 2
or
3 or 4.
Depending on the person.
I've heard of people have one in one side of the room, one at the other side, and then one down the hall.
I've heard, and one of the things that I've heard people say is, I have as many as 3, sometimes 4, because the one thing I can't handle is something going beep, 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 and not stopping. So that truly is programming, but they also might want or need to keep their job.
Well, exactly. So programming is probably the quick fix to go and do that.
Right.
But at the same time,
right.
And I would use the ecosystem approach and clear the veils and illusions. Say, okay, why don't I want to get up in the morning?
Right.
What am I resisting? Mm-hmm. What energy is keeping me from getting out of bed and be exciting for the day?
Yes.
Maybe you hate your job.
Maybe you hate somebody you work with.
Exactly. Yes. Maybe you just have a physical condition that needs to be addressed so that you can overcome it.
Correct.
When you start clearing, you start to see those things.
Yes, you do.
You start to perceive those things on your own. You don't need an expert to go to and have them tell you what the problem is.
Correct.
So that's a great example of using both.
Okay. The answer, let's clarify the answer. In other words, do not stop all programming. Give yourself some time. Give yourself, make it easy. Start small and then go forward. Remember your personal story, the story of who you are and your life and how you got to here today. It all affects, it affects you in a way that possibly you might see that, oh my gosh, I've done nothing but be programmed. I'm not natural at all, but I want to be natural.
Yes.
That kind of thing. So, there's enlightenments that happen when you start using the ecosystem approach. So, Jason, tell us about using both of them,
Well,
meaning in the ecosystem approach and programming.
it makes sense to use some type of hybrid or combination
Okay.
of the ecosystem approach and programming, depending on the situation.
Mhm.
The ecosystem approach excels with helping and knowing yourself,
Yeah.
determining your purpose and direction. It's also great for problem solving, working with relationships, health issues, and money.
Mhm.
When you understood that the root of all problems starts with energy, then it's an obvious go-to.
Correct.
Programming can work with you when you need immediate solutions, but programming never changes the energy.
And therefore, you might end up with the same problem, just from a different perspective a short time later.
Another quick example.
Okay.
Let's say you always run out of money before your next paycheck. So you start a programming method of budgeting or whatever to maybe tearing up some credit cards or stopping yourself. There's all sorts of programming methods you can do to control your
Off your
spending.
computer at 8 o'clock at night as opposed to 12.
Well, it depends if you're doing online shopping. Yeah,
That's what I was talking about.
So, but at the same time, you need to clear and understand why your budget's so tight. What's the problem? Is it that you're spending too much? Is it that you're not making enough?
Okay.
Is it that you haven't asked for that big promotion that you should ask for?
Correct.
That's a clearing process, and it's unique to you.
Yes. Yes.
So,
yes. So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
the dilemma that we have is knowing and perceiving the existence of essence and soul, and at the same time knowing that science and traditional thought does not acknowledge essence and cannot perceive its role in an individual's life. As intuitives, we have been connecting with essence and helping others remove the blocks and energies that interfere with their life. We know how effective working at the level of essence can be. We also are realistic and know that programming is everywhere, and that doing a hybrid approach using the ecosystem approach and some programming methods can work very well. Yes. The ecosystem approach excels working to uncover self-knowledge, determining purpose and direction. It's also great for problem solving, working with relationships, health issues, and money. When you understand that the root of all problems starts with energy, then it's an obvious go-to. Programming can work when you need immediate solutions and quick fixes. When you are constantly removing negative energy to know yourself better, using programming cannot hurt you in the same way as compared to just doing programming.
Well, and you know what? I want to talk about programming. I have just a minute to talk about this. People that have gained a lot of weight or they're overweight, they feel that they're overweight. They always want a quick fix. That's number one. But they also want, they don't want to look at the story or the reasons why they have that energy, or they're holding on to that excess energy.
They just want a formula.
They just want a formula.
So they jump from formula to formula to formula, diet to diet to diet.
That is correct. And I have to say, it doesn't work. So in the next segment, we're going to talk about what your life would be like if you were not numb to your essence. That's basically what I was just talking about. It is very healthy and in a constant communication with you, meaning your essence. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about what your life would be like if you were not numb to your essence, and your essence was healthy and in constant communication with you. Okay, Jason. I don't think it's known how humans would function if their essence was healthy.
No.
I see that. And they could connect via intuition. I don't think people have any idea how to do that. Can you describe what life would be like with a healthy, normal operating essence?
Yes, although it's not common for people today to have a healthy essence. These are some of the things that would happen with a healthy essence. Okay. The power of self-knowledge. Oh my gosh. Think back and remember all the decisions you've made in your life that were not the best. Did you know who you were? Did you have the self-confidence you needed when you made them? A lot of times people have an inkling about who they are, but they don't have the confidence to make it as big as it needs to be, or is it
or have an understanding
yes,
as what that is.
Self-knowledge uncovers talents and abilities and the confidence to engage in those abilities. Bad decision that at the root stems from a lack of self-knowledge. It must be an energy process. It is not a thinking process.
Right.
That's huge.
Right
People
there.
think, I'll just figure it out. That sounds right to me, but I'll just go and figure it out. I'll just go and think and I'm going to figure it out. It doesn't work that way. And we know that because we spent years trying to figure it out.
That's correct.
And then we started to work with the energy. And oh my gosh,
the changes.
And even today, every single day, we get these new insights of like, oh my gosh, I didn't see this clearly as I did yesterday. I didn't see this as clearly. And it's because we've been removing the negative energy.
Correct.
It's really exciting. So when I say I can't wait for the next 10 years, 20 years of my life,
we both feel the same way,
because we're getting all these new insights about how to be and how to, and not only that, but how to have the confidence. We're uncovering talents in ourselves that we want to apply to the world, and
we want to help the world apply for themselves.
Exactly. But a big part of that is confidence.
Yes, that's true.
Most people don't have the confidence to take these talents and run with them and say, I want to develop this.
And I'm just going to jump in and say that it's my mother always knew that I had these abilities to see, I'll say it that way, and understand and be intuitive. And she threatened me more than once with, in my life, don't you dare say a word.
Yeah.
Don't you dare say what you
see.
What you think you see is what she would say quite often. So go ahead, Jason. So, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
A good example is, when my first wife died, I was scared to be a single dad by myself.
Yeah.
I lack the self-knowledge about, first of all, that I could have been a really good dad, single dad, and the courage to go and be a single dad. I got married too quickly the second time, and it was a wrong choice. And by the way, it was really logical. I had thought it out really a lot, and it was completely wrong for me. It was completely wrong for my daughter, but I could certainly justify it and
with logic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so for those of you that think you can figure it out, good luck with that.
Well, and the other thing is first off, he is a good dad, and he also his daughter has turned out remarkable. She is an amazing mom and a wonderful person, smart, intelligent, all of the things that anybody could want, not only for themselves, but in a partner. And she is amazing. So
the point is that the benefit of the self-knowledge is huge.
Yes.
And people can spend your whole life because you were programmed to do this, or you were programmed to be this person, or you were programmed to act like this, and then get to the end of your life and have no idea who you are,
or why you did what you did,
and no confidence for yourself. We see that with my mom
all the time.
She was very accomplished. She was a head nurse at a major metropolitan hospital, ICU, cardiac care.
Right.
And now she doesn't know who she is. She's 94. She has dementia, but she has nothing grounding her to say, this is who you are and why you should live.
Yes.
And we'll talk some more about that in another show, but
Yes, we will.
it's very clear to us.
So, Jason, are there benefits in all areas of life using the ecosystem approach?
Yes.
Okay.
You can apply it to health, money, relationships, and well-being.
Okay.
All issues have more clarity after working with the energy, and you can see the root cause of all energy issues. You can see that money issues come from the same energy, and relationships, you can see yourself clearly first and then the other person.
Mhm.
Most problem with relationships because you don't see yourself clearly and you don't see the other person clearly.
Right.
So
only excuse me, you've been programmed. I know
Yes.
I was programmed. If I just
acted a certain way.
acted a certain way and believed that what I was told, then everything would be okay. And I have to say that was nothing but a joke to me.
Yes.
So let's talk about the efficiencies of essence. Explain that one.
When in a program world, we go to specialists. We do one problem at a time.
Correct.
And this is terribly inefficient and it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
When you work with essence and remove the negative energy attached to you, you can see that those same energies affect multiple problems at the same time.
Correct.
When we've been working with someone for a while, they'll talk to me about money problems or relationship problems or health problems. They're all the same energy.
Yes, they are.
So all we have to do is start working on that energy. And all three of them go away at the same time.
Right.
When you do one problem at a time using programming, you never get to the root energy. It's time consuming. It doesn't work. And the root energy often stays and reconfigures. That's what most people don't know about energy. Negative energy has no problem expressing itself as cancer one time.
And then
as another health problem, as a relationship problem, as a money problem, another time.
Correct.
It has no problem with that. It does it all.
Care because in using our energy to survive, we're the ones that get taken out.
Yes.
And that negative energy keeps on going.
Exactly. I worked with a couple one time. This is a good example. They had relationship problems. She wanted him to see a business consultant because he had an online business that wasn't doing as well as it should have. And they had money problems. And there were also health problems.
Yes.
If they would have gone to a specialist for each one of those, a business consultant, marriage counselor, financial advisor,
right,
and even a doctor for the health problems,
correct,
they would have all these people talking to them for all these different solutions. But
nobody would be addressing
the root cause. And I went in there and helped them clear some energy. All of a sudden, their relationship got better, their business got better,
and their money got better,
and their health was better. Yes. So, and it's that's how it's supposed to work.
I agree.
That's how efficient it is.
Yes.
So,
all right. So, Jason, is there a key to unlimited human potential?
Yes. We've heard that we only use a small part of our potential.
Correct.
I've been hearing that for years and years.
Sure.
But why? Why do we only use a small part of our potential? And most people would default to, well, I didn't program myself hard enough or well enough.
Correct.
That's not true. That
would have been, I'm sorry, that would have been, if you go back to the base of that, oh, I failed.
Yes.
Okay.
When you discover that most people have 80% of their essence is covered, blocked, or made dysfunctional by negative energy.
Right.
And we've talked about this in other shows that we see when people come into the world today, that 80% of their essence is blocked. Right. That's a lot. And as negative energy is removed, that potential is revealed. We're seeing that with ourselves. That's why we can't wait for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years of our life, because that potential is going to be uncovered and released.
Yes.
And
I'm actually going to have the energy to do it.
Exactly. With self-knowledge, talents and abilities come forward. Programming techniques never removes negative energy that affect that potential. People can have accomplishment, and this is a biggie, without self-knowledge.
Yes. Oh, true.
If your parents told you that they needed you to be a doctor all your life, and you become a doctor and you do well and you help people and you do things that are satisfying, but then at the end that you were able to retire and you say, oh my gosh, I wasn't happy. Oh my gosh, it wasn't very meaningful to me.
Right.
It's probably because it wasn't what you were here to do.
Correct.
It was what they thought you should be here to do.
That is correct. So, Jason, what is the summary of this segment?
A healthy essence is unknown in the world today. The primary benefit of a healthy essence is self-knowledge. With self-knowledge comes confidence, the ability to expose talents and abilities that have been previously hidden. All problems in life have their root in negative energy. You cannot overcome negative energy with thinking. It is an energy process, which we use with the ecosystem approach. Working with negative energy attached to essence is highly efficient because this negative energy can express itself in multiple areas of a person's life. Most people use a one at a time approach to problem solving, but when programming is used, it doesn't get to the root cause. The negative energy as it remains can manifest in other areas of life over and over again, like whack-a-mole game. Removing the negative energy from essence is the key to connecting with your unlimited potential.
So we're going to run out of time in this segment to teach everyone how to do the
we'll do that next
segment. Removing negative energy.
Yeah.
We'll do it in the next segment. Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to help you use clearing statements to remove negative energy from your essence and to help you see how programming does not remove this negative energy. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to help you use some clearing statements to remove negative energy from your essence to help you see how programming does not remove this negative energy. And Jason, let's tell everyone how to do the clearing real fast.
So basically, it's you can sit, stand. Your posture is not important.
Okay.
And primarily, it's your intention that's important.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say to eliminate, in your imagination, in your mind's eye, gather up the things that we say to eliminate, which is veils and illusions, barriers, specific emotions,
correct,
whatever they are, and then blow them into the processor. Moxie's going to put the picture of the processor up now.
And the processor is key here. And the reason is that you don't want to remove negative energy and then just throw it around, because you're going to get up and walk back into it. It's a waste of time. Use the processor, use a garbage can. It's in your best interest by far. In fact, that was one of the very first things that I found when, after doing the clearing, it was so important. That negative energy needed to go somewhere. So,
and we've heard, send it to the ends of the universe, that sort of thing.
Right.
Well, that's still a place. And
but so is the processor, and you can make it a lot closer.
Well, the processor is, it has a
intention to it.
Intention, and it literally changes negative energy into neutral energy.
Correct.
That's what we need in this world.
Exactly.
We don't just need to get rid of the negative energy, because another negative energy comes in. You have to.
So you need positive to stand up to it. There.
Yes.
That's
it's sort of like, if you want clean water, you have to treat your sewer water, and then restore it to clean water. Put it back in the ecosystem. That's
exactly right. So in other words, that's the toxic that we're talking about. All right, Jason, go ahead.
Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the veils and illusions, so I can see that human beings are designed to function daily using essence or soul.
Nice and easy. Take a breath. And you're going to blow out the veils and illusions that are keeping you from seeing how your soul or essence is designed to help you. So with that said, I'm going to shorten it up just a little tiny bit, and to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that any behavior or function that ignores or rejects input from essence is toxic and unhealthy. In other words, your essence is a form of your voice, everyone. Nice and easy. You're going to lift up these toxic energies and throw them away. Put them in the processor. Blow them in the processor. Jason?
And to eliminate stress, anxiety, and overwhelm that I have because I've been programmed to cut off connection with my essence, and it's unhealthy for me.
That's correct.
It can cause stress and anxiety. It's big. It's a big deal.
It really, really, really is. So throw away the stress and anxiety. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that programming methods tell me how to think, feel, and uses formulas and recipes to govern my behavior. Wait, not acceptable. Get rid of those veils and illusions right now.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that programming methods often manipulates and seeks to take over the natural processes within me that can make me sick and dull and lacking in life force and boom.
Nice and easy.
Woohoo.
Pick up that negative energy. Those are veils and illusions right there in my hand. I'm throwing them in the processor that's behind me.
We were just talking about that today. We watched this travel video, and it's a really interesting family. They do a nice job, but we're seeing that they're kind of boring in a way, and it's not because it's not a judgment.
No,
We see that they don't have they do everything by program. They program themselves to have a really good life, quote unquote, but there's no joy, there's no life force, there's no I want what he's having, there's none of that. So
exactly.
that's what you get when you remove the negative energy and your essence is exposed.
Exactly. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that science and commonly accepted practices sees programming methods as normal and the preferred method to govern human behavior. I'm going to say it this way, not get rid of those veils and illusions. You don't need them.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that science and its focus on the tangible world makes essence invisible, and the toxic effect of programming is also invisible.
Take a breath. You don't need it. Throw it away.
If everyone can see everybody else's essence, you can see their own essence and everybody else's, they say, oh my God, they're sick.
Well, not only that, you would also see that another person is saying that they stand for this, this, and this when they don't stand for that at all.
Yeah.
And
a lot of times negative energy creates these illusions about who a person is. Yes.
That's exactly right. So, and to eliminate the barriers so I can see that self-knowledge is truly the key to life and the best life decisions, and it can only be uncovered with an energy process. It can't be figured out by, just thinking. Take a breath.
We've done it so many times. When we clear away things, we see things that are much more crystal clear with such depth. Exactly. Where we thinking about it, it didn't never
happen
work
that way. So,
and to eliminate the barriers, so I can see the efficiency of working with essence, because negative energy attached can manifest in multiple areas of my life, such as health, relationships, money, and basic well-being.
Nice and easy. Get rid of those barriers right now. Pick them up and throw them away. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that human potential has been blocked because of all the negative energy connected to essence, and that removing these blocks using the ecosystem approach releases the big one, unlimited potential. I love it. Nice and easy. Pick up those veils and illusions and all those blocks, throw them away. You don't need it.
One last thing. And we'll just get an extra bonus clearing, and to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see that if I've been programmed and thrown away, I can recapture my potential, my ability to be in the world in a way that's significant and profound by removing the negative energy. Nice. Take a breath.
Take a breath. And blow it out. Let's activate some life force. Life force is the most powerful energy that any of us has access to. And And what we're going to do is we're going to call upon this life force, and we're going to have it come in through the top of our head, go all the way down to the tips of our toes. We're going to stop it right there. We're going to ask it to turn around, and we're going to ask that life force to help us remove more negative energy. So, or programming in this case, in this show. So follow along. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force so I can have hope to live a normal existence connected to my essence, which will guide me in the best way for my life. Nice and easy. Pull in that life force all the way to the tips of your toes. Stop it. Ask it to turn around and come back up, and throw away any negative energy left over. Jason?
And to activate life force so I can have hope to live a natural existence connected to my essence, which will guide me in the best way for the rest of my life.
And to activate life force so I can trust that my essence is always my best mentor, advisor, and wise master, so I can always know what is best for me in any particular moment. And by the way, I've seen this one in action myself. That's awesome. Pull it in and blow out any negative energy. Jason?
And to activate life force so I can decide to use the power of my essence instead of defaulting to programming methods.
I love it. Pull it in and blow out any negative energy. And to activate using life force for happiness and health and clarity and understanding. And I'm going to do it again, and to activate life force so I can see what's standing in my way, so I can know what's standing in my way, keeping me from connecting with my own personal essence, so I can be happy and healthy and creative, and know what my soul purpose is, and actually figure out how to put my soul purpose into action, because that's one of the main reasons I am here, starting right now. Pull in that life force and blow out anything left over. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
I've titled it The Energies of the Personalities, but this is really a radical belief.
Okay.
And I think you'll really enjoy this. Think of your personality like a mini solar system, with your essence as the center of that solar system. And it's influenced by external energies according to your individual uniqueness.
Correct.
That those external energies can be planets, like in astrology, we've talked about that,
Yes,
using planetary energies. Also, it can be from the people that you live with.
Yes.
The people that you're related to, the people that you are connected with at work. And that we can find that you can use these energies in a way to supercharge your daily life and heal emotional and physical issues. So by just understanding this energy field that you're in, this solar system that you're in, and by the way, science has proven that human beings have an energy field attached to them. They just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Because they don't have intuition.
Okay.
So this will be a very, very interesting show. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
So if you got a hit today, if the hairs in the back of your neck are standing up and say, yes, this is what I've been missing. I don't program myself anymore. I want to be more natural. I want to connect with my essence. I want to have that confidence to know who I am. This is what you do. First of all, listen to our show every week. Whatever media that you're using to see us today, YouTube, Facebook.
Correct.
We're in Apple Podcasts. We're in all sorts of places. Spotify, all those things. Just listen every week. Go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org. Sign up for our free section. Sign up for our newsletter. We have all the clearings right there. Go to our Facebook page, theecosystemapproach.org.
All right. We'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. And Pacific time and 4 p.m. Eastern time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.